All right, here we go. So, I said yesterday that I had an unfortunate experience when I tried to do my Amazon online assessment. I completely failed it. Just like, I'm talking both questions, 0 out of 13 or 0 out of 20 for I can't remember how many test cases there were. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 0 of the test cases passing. And what I also mentioned was where I was saying I couldn't even understand the question, like what the question was asking. Now, I remember this happening a long time ago when I first started Leak Code, and I have not experienced that feeling for a very long time. Normally, when I look at a Leak Code problem, I'm like, okay, I might not know how to solve it. Sometimes I know how to solve it, sometimes I don't know how to solve it. Maybe I know the general idea of the algorithm I want to use, but I don't know the exact details of it. Somewhere along those lines, right? Either I don't know how to solve it, or I know the algorithm, but not the details. One of those, or I just know how to solve it. Like one of those three. It's never the case that I look at a problem, I'm like, I can't even understand this. But on that online assessment, whew, ooh, both questions. I looked at it. I was like, what is it even asking? What is the question even? what is what is this even trying to get me to do? I couldn't figure out what the return should even be, let alone solve it. Okay. So, trying to look at the experience that I had and say, all right, well, how do we move forward productively? And what I was thinking is, I was analyzing it today. I was going over it in my head while I was at work. I was trying to do my work, but then obviously that experience kind of was ringing in my head today, and I was just like, man, what was what? How did I get so blindsided by this? And what about it tripped me up? Because if I can analyze that, I can kind of figure out a plan to move forward and how I can tackle this issue. If I just blindly go in and do more leak code, then I might get better at well, I will get better at leak code and the problem solving and the algorithms and learning how to apply the different algorithms in different scenarios, etc. Okay? But if I go into the another interview or online assessment and have not analyzed why I failed previously, well then obviously it's most likely that the same thing is going to happen again. So all right, great. We got a new experience. Let's think about this. Like what what was different about this? And I think one of the things, as I was thinking about it, is the way that these questions were formatted. They were very uh, long in terms of words. They were very much. Leak code seemed to be a little bit different, where it's kind of more straightforward. That you know what you need to do, and it says return this, and everything's kind of clear. And so then the question is, all right, well, okay, I need to do this. How do I okay. Okay, how do I apply whichever or whichever algorithm I'm thinking about using, and then okay, I'm applying this algorithm. I'm going to need some data structure. Which data structure would fit in each scenario within my larger algorithm? Okay, we've got that. But this one was much more nerdy and much more kind of like a business situation almost. That might be how I might describe it. Yesterday I said it was like a leak code question, but also not like a leak code question. And maybe that's a good way for me to put it, is more business. It was like a business scenario or a life scenario, and I was caught off guard, and I was like, that kind of feeling. So, all right, so I analyzed that. I'm going to continue analyzing it, continue to think about, okay, well, what went wrong? How can I move forward? One of the things that I'm going to try to do, I'm going to kind of branch off in two different directions, is number one is I need to address what I just found, which is, okay, I need to figure out how to address those more ambiguous problems where I don't quite know what I'm supposed to do. I need to figure out a way to practice that. If I can figure out a way to practice that, I can figure out a way to improve. Okay. Second thing that I want to do is I definitely want to continue doing leak code because I don't feel that I am at a point in my algorithms and data structures that I can just solve a medium like that. Right? I still struggle very much with mediums. Sometimes I can solve it like that. Sometimes it comes to me, right? I would say, I don't know. I wouldn't even venture a guess. Maybe 30% that I can just solve pretty easy. Maybe. I don't know. You guys have seen some of my videos. Anyways. So I want to do both of those. And now I was thinking about, okay, well, how do I do this one? Which is the idea of practicing actually solving those ambiguous problems. And I don't know yet. I'm going to be kind of like exploring this idea. Now, one of the ideas that I have today is, okay, when I was doing the online assessment, they used something called HackerRank, which I've heard about, but I never paid attention to. I always did leak code, and I assumed leak code and HackerRank are the exact same thing. Now, I don't know if it's different. That's what we're going to figure out in this video. I'm going to see if these questions on HackerRank are more in line with what I experienced, and if so, okay, great, then we can practice that skill of actually problem solving. So let me make myself a little bit smaller. There we go. And try to figure out what's up. So I created an account here on HackerRank, and I guess, I don't know, we will just go to algorithms. Why not? Okay. And I see this stuff like for free, which makes me a little bit, makes me think, okay, this is probably like a paid service. Hopefully these questions are not going to be paid or something. Anyways. All right. Complete the function solve me to compute the sum of two integers. Example, a equals 7, b equals 3, return 3. First thing we need to do, let's get this. Is this C or C++? This is C++, C out. Okay, let's get, yep, there it is, C++. And, oh, what version of C++ are you running? What version of Python? Okay, anyways. Here we go. Where's Python? Which version of Python are you running? Do you guys know what I'm referencing? Anyways. Oh my goodness. Anyways. Okay. That's a super important question. You have to know it. You have to know it. Okay, so is it Python 3 or Python 3, or sorry, is it Python 3.10, 3.11? Big difference. So, all right. Anyways, complete the solve me first function with the following parameters. Oh, the other thing that I kept doing is, do you notice how I'm like, normally when I do my videos, I like do this to kind of show what I'm doing. When I was doing that Amazon OA, it kept flagging me because it was like, you cannot copy and paste. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to copy and paste. It's just my habit. But it kept giving me this like big warning. And anyways, it's just okay. Fine. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not click. And it wasn't caught if I did it wasn't like I was doing the command C. It was just like if I highlighted the text, it would bing give me this big thing. And I was like, "Oh." Okay. So int A, the first value, int B, the second value, returns int, which is the sum of AB. Constraint is like this. Okay. Solve me compute the sum of two integers. Here's my function. Okay. Okay. Do I run the code or can I just submit it or congratulations, you passed the sample. Okay. Click submit button and run the code against all wait, where? Okay, how do I submissions? Leaderboard, discussion, editorial, exit. Okay, come on now. Come on now. Oh, here we go. Run code. All right, so run code. Is that what I just did? Or okay, cool. Oh, I see. It was above. All right. Okay, submit code. Oh, I just wasn't patient enough. Okay. Next challenge. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Let's see if it is. Let me make this a little bit bigger. All right, so given an array of integers, find the sum of its elements. For example, if array is equal to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or sorry, 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6, so return 6, okay? Function description, complete simple array function with the following parameters. Array of n, an integer array, returns int, the sum of array elements. The first line contains an integer n, denoting the size of the array. The second line contains in space separated integers representing the array's elements. Okay. Yeah, let me read this again. Okay, given an array of integers, okay, we have here, yeah. Find the sum of its elements. Okay, so we just need to do this. We just need to return 1, 2, 3, the sum of the elements within the array. Okay. Complete the simple array sum function for the following parameters. Array of n, an array of integers, returns integer, the sum of the array elements. The first line contains an integer n, denoting the size of the array. The first line contains an integer n, which denotes the size of the... Okay, so that's just length of array. Okay, fine. The second line contains in space separated integers representing the array's elements. Space separated integers. Does that mean that it's like a string and I need to parse the string? Whoa, what's this? We have, like, we're opening up files? Okay. Okay, so, fine. Open. Let me get my jacket off for a second. Alright. Okay. Write my code here, simple array sum, which is going to be called somewhere here. Here it is. Okay, so I'm calling this array, which I get. I'm making a list of map. I don't know what map does. Int. Okay, yeah, see the actually, yeah. This is a very different format than just straight LeetCode. Like, let me go to LeetCode. Like, even if I come here and I'm just gonna randomly pick a number, right? Like permutations. So first off, it says, given an array nums of distinct integers, return all the possible permutations. You can return the answer in any order, right? The problem is like that big. It's that big. It's this big. And it says, given an array nums, okay, I have an array. It's called nums. There it is. And what am I trying to do? Return all possible permutations. Okay, well, all possible permutations. Bam, I'm thinking backtracking. Okay, great. I have my list, and I am going to do a backtracking algorithm. I'm going to use a list to be able to add items to my my list, right? I'm going to have this variable that expands and contracts as I add items to or take items away. Let me just like, okay, my list is equal to whatever, like an empty list, and then I will need actually this to be self, and then I'm gonna say what I need a backtracking thing here, and that needs to be def, and I'm gonna come here. By the way, I'm just doing this as an example, and I'm trying to understand and compare and contrast LeetCode to HackerRank. Okay, I'm trying to figure out like, okay, well, what's going on? What was more like my situation with the online assessment, and how do I leverage that information to better move forward and improve myself? Okay, so I have this, and then I need some base case, right? And you have a base case, and what would be my base case? Well, I have this integer, and I know that I am going to call this backtracking, and I will want to return something. I want to return I'm going to return this my list. So self.mylist, and this is what I'm going to be appending. So I know that I need to append my list. Self.mylist.append, and then I need to append the variable that I'm growing and shrinking, right? Okay, so I am going to have that variable in here. What's actually going to be the like trigger? It is going to be when I get to the end of the element here, right? So then we can come here and just do like if, and maybe I do index is equal to length of nums, and then we can append this variable. Okay, so we kind of see what's going on there, right? This is very different. It's very different. This is a little bit longer thing here for fundamentally very easy, right? You're given it an array, find the sum of the array. Okay, normally in here, if I was doing this question, you want to know how I would do it? Return sum of nums. There we go. Submit. see what I mean? See what I mean? Okay, so that's actually a really valuable insight. So awesome. I'm glad that I'm getting this. I wish I would have known this a little bit earlier. I wish I would have known this before the online assessment, but the past is the past, and I just need to focus on how to uh, optimize for the future. So let's go. But I am happy that I found this. It means that there is a viable path forward for me to improve and get better. Okay, so let me even just look at this. Like, okay, so we have a file pointer. Open os.environment output path, and we're doing it with write. Now, this is something kind of strange because I very rarely, I guess I used, I guess I did access files in Python when I was doing like machine learning, but most of my like file access was written in either C or C++. So it was a little while ago. But I'm going to ask a really dumb question right now. And one of the things that I want to not be afraid of is asking dumb questions because, in my opinion, if you ask enough dumb questions, eventually your questions don't become dumb. Eventually, the questions you ask, you've already asked all the dumb ones, right? So, I didn't even know Python had pointers. Now, I probably didn't even think about it when I was initially doing like my machine learning classes where I would just use this file open. And then once I got that, like, okay, I have the file, I didn't think about it anymore. But now that I have a little bit more context and I understand things a little bit more, I look at this line of code and I'm like, wait, hold up a second. How does that actually working? So that's something I kind of want to investigate. So now we do int. So we're casting as an integer input, which is what? Input here, which seems to not be declared. Okay. Dot strip, and I think that what this is going to do is it is going to probably take care of that white space for me. Array equals list, so I'm creating an array, and I'm doing map. I don't know what map does, and I want to, inside of here, I'm passing in 2 arguments, which is integer, so a data type, and then input, which again is here, reads a string from standard input. Oh, okay. Okay. R strip split. Okay, so I just from the context, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to get the data which is passed in. I'm going to split it into an array, just each element. So result, so I get a result here, and then here's my result. I write to that file pointer, dot write. I think this has to be an object, right? This has to be an object. Open, or sorry, not open. But I mean open must pass back an object. I have to capture it here, and then I do the dot write, which is a method on that object. I'm still going to be looking this up, but just looking at it, that's what I would be thinking. Okay, string of results. So we're casting result as a string. So this, I believe, needs to be an integer array. Is that correct? No, no, right. This is just an integer. So then we're adding a new line, and then so we're writing the answer to the the file that we took in initially. Oh wait, no, output path. Yeah, it was just a path variable, os.environment variable, and the output path. Okay, so it's gonna say the numbers, and then we're going to essentially write that answer into the file, go to the next line, and then close the file. So up here, I should just return sum of array. Okay, run code. Sample passed 0. Does that mean Oh, but it says congratulations. You passed the sample case. Okay. I thought it meant I passed 0 test cases. Okay. I need to not be as anxious or impatient, I should say. I click it and what's going on? I just see. Anyways, awesome. Okay. So something that I do like about this is it seems like it is a little bit more not technical. That's not really the right word, but like it has not just the data structures and algorithms. It's not only, it seems like LeetCode is more, you get practice purely on data structures and algorithms. Okay, and you can practice it and you can get good at it and you can understand it, and it's like doing your homework for data structures and algorithms. You get right? And so awesome, that's a wonderful tool for that. This seems different. It has a little bit of the algorithms. Now, obviously, these are just the sample questions. So I'm not looking too much into the complexity of the actual problem. What I am noticing, though, is this has a lot more like real life kind of things, which is more of what I was talking about when I was mentioning at the OA. It was more situational, and they would give a business scenario and you needed to solve it, and it was like, oh, okay, well, this is something I'm not used to. Right? And notice how long this took me to solve this problem, whereas when I was doing LeetCode, it was just like, okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. It's time to do this, then this, and this. And that's why I was saying yesterday when I was caught off guard, because normally I read the question, I know or I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And then, yeah, sometimes I'll stumble, like, oh, well, what's this? And what variable do I want to pass in here? Do I want index in here? And then I'm going to do this, and index +1. And then how do I determine? And then I need to add to my, and this isn't even, there we go. Then I need to add to my, self.answer. Actually, this is what I would want to do. Kind of like, whoops, like this. And then I need to do self.mylist.append, and then the current element that I'm at. So nums indexed at index like this, then self.mylist.pop. Okay, so I'm like, I know how to do this. I know maybe I stumble and I get this line messed up, or I forget how to do the algorithm or something like that. Like, okay, that's what I'm used to struggling with. This we can see is very different. Is very different. But you know, I feel like, okay, great. It gives me another avenue in which I can learn and improve myself. And let's see. Yeah, this is just like warm ups, right? Let me go back to algorithms and compare triplets is going to be the next one. Okay, solved, solve. Very big sum. Let me just go down to, I don't, look at this. Designer PDF view. Like, okay, what's this? Um, okay. We are a continuous block of text, or when a continuous block of text is selected in a PDF viewer, the selection is highlighted with a blue rectangle. In the PDF viewer, each word is highlighted independently. For example, highlighted text here, here, and here. There is a list of 26 characters, height aligned by index to their letters. For example, A is at index 0, Z is at index 25. There will also be a string using the letter heights determined. Determine the area of the rectangle highlighted in millimeters squared, assuming all letters are 1 millimeter wide. Okay. Example, H equals this long thing. Word is torn. Wait, where did H come from? H? Did it even mention H up here? Highlighted. H is... The weights are T equals 2. O is 1. R... I'm starting to think that this is the kind of question that I got. Not this question, not this exact question. But this feeling that I'm having right now is the exact same feeling that I was having during the OA, where I'm like, what kind of question is this? You see how this is absolutely fundamentally different than the elite code kind of questions. By the way, this is a medium. This one, it was an easy. I don't know where the leak or the HackerRank. Am I covering it here? No, I don't know. But I clicked on it. It was easy. This is a HackerRank easy. You see, you immediately now. Okay, here we go. You can see the difference. This is what I was. This is the type of problem that I was experiencing. This is how I was looking at it. I was like, what am I seeing here? And just completely blindsided. I can't figure out, okay, what was this H all of a sudden? Which is this long array of integers. Word is torn, but there's a space right there. Okay, anyways, the heights are T equals 2. Where does 2 come from? O is 1, R is 1, and N is 1. The tallest letter is too high, and there are 4 letters. It's this type of question. Here it is. It's this kind of question. Where you read this, it doesn't make any sense. I can't tell you how happy I am to be able to say I found it, and therefore I have found an avenue to improve myself. I wish I had something to like. I'll do it quietly because people are asleep. Here we go. Okay. I wish I would have known this. Whatever. 5 days ago. 5 days ago. 6 days ago. Okay, because I can't even understand what this is asking. Where does 2, 1, 1, 1 come from? T? So T equals 2. Okay, so we're doing something with word here. And so Torn has, each letter has a different height. The tallest letter is 2 high, and there are 4 letters. The highlighted area will be 2 by 4 because there's 4 letters and the tallest letter is 2, this T. So the answer is 8. Okay. Got it. Okay. Function description. Complete the designer PDF view function in the editor below. Yeah. Designer PDF has the following parameters: int of h of 26. Oh, I see what's going on. T is going to be, I don't know which letter T is. Let's just say it's this one. It's the, I don't know, 20, it's the 19th letter in the alphabet, something like that. And let's say that this is index 18. Okay, so T is 2, O is this one, it's 1, R is this one, it's 1, and N is, I don't know, this one. Okay. So I can index this H array to be able to get the height of each letter. Okay. I see now. And then I need to return, there will also be a string using the letter heights given. Determine the area of the rectangle highlighted in millimeters squared. Okay. Complete this. Designer PDF view has the following parameters. Int h of 26 is the height of each letter. String, okay. Returns integer the size of the highlighted area. Okay. The first line contains 26 space-separated integers describing the respective heights of each consecutive lowercase English letter. Yeah, this is the, here we go. The second line contains a single word consisting of lowercase English alphabetic letters. Constraints is height of anything is going to be between 1 and 7, where is the, okay. Word contains no more than 10 letters, okay. Okay. So we're opening something up. Okay, we're doing something very similar. And we just get this result. It goes into this function here. And now I need to do, I don't know, max height is equal to 0. While, or maybe we can say for letter in word, if, and where do I have access to height? Okay, so if height of letter, and now is this actually indexed? Height is going to be a, what is letter? This is going to be a string here, right? And so I would need to cast it. Oh, geez. Is it like this? Like, is that a keyword? Yeah, string. Okay. Cast it as a string, then minus, I forget. It's like, or no, cast it as an int. Sorry, int, and then minus, I don't know. What is ASCII A? Int of A. Maybe I can do that. I don't know, because I don't know what that number is. If this is greater than max height, then max height is equal to this guy again. And I would get flagged right now because I just copy and pasted. Why are you unhappy? What's going on here? Yeah. Int of A max height. Okay. Anyways. Return max height multiplied by length of word. There we go. So it might not compile because of that. But I don't know. Yeah, okay, fine. Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, things are very different over in this world. Awesome. Awesome news. We found it. So we found how to move forward, how to prepare, and this gives me I have now the opportunity to be able to read these kinds of problems, get this kind of problem in my head, see scenarios, and take the words, get practice taking the words and putting them into the problem. Okay. I feel a little bit better about, is it because these are they're all space indexed? I don't know. Anyways, troubleshooting, and the point of this video right now is not to actually solve this question. The point of this video was to try to analyze the situation which occurred, try to figure out how to move forward, and say, here's a good path. So I still want to definitely do leak code questions because I want to make sure that I understand my algorithms and my data structures, and that's more of a distilled version of data structures and algorithms. But HackerRank seems to be much more focused on more real-world scenarios, which is actually not bad. It's not a bad thing at all. I just hadn't been preparing for that. I had been preparing and optimizing for what I believed was going to be the process, which I thought was leak code. Now, we didn't waste that time. That time that we spent, we learned about data structures, we learned about algorithms, and we moved forward. We made a lot of progress. Okay, great. We get to keep that progress, and now we get to learn more stuff here. So we're going to do two things, and we're going to continue with doing two things now. And I kind of like that. Okay, great. We get to. I like the way that HackerRank is kind of doing this, where it is a little bit more real world. Obviously, it's not completely real world insofar as it's not build a project, but it's as much of it's trying to go in that direction, I think. And the problems are a little bit more nuanced to understand. And again, this is an easy question. So, yeah. All right. Here we go. I'm actually kind of curious, like what would a medium look like? Algorithms. Okay. Okay, I come here. All of these are easy here. Climbing the leaderboard. Okay. Extra long factorials. Queen attack. Encryption. I don't know. Success. Oh, they have success rate as well. All right. Let's not a hard one. I don't want to look at a hard one. Let's just look at this. I don't know. This is a medium. Oh, geez. Okay, yeah, again, you're just greeted by a wall of text. Leak code? HackerRank. And here's the examples. Okay, given an array of integers, determine whether the array can be sorted in ascending order using only one following operations one time. Swap two elements, reverse one sub-element. Determine whether both, or neither of the operations will complete the task. Okay. Output is as follows. If the array is already sorted, output yes. On the first line, you do not need to output anything else. If you can sort this array using one single operation, okay, from the two permitted operations, then yes. On the first line, then, if elements can be swapped DL and DR, swap L and R in the second line. L and R are the indices of the element to be swapped, assuming that the array is indexed from 1 to n, which where is n? Okay. If elements can only be reversed for the segment L through R, output reverse. Here we go. Oh my gosh. This is the feel. Just what? that feeling. What? Output reverse L and R in the second line. L and R are the indices of the first and last element of the subarray to be reversed, assuming that the array is indexed from 1 to n. Here, the DL represents the subarray that begins at index L and ends at index R, both inclusive. Okay, well, that's the only thing that I did understand is both inclusive. Okay, fine. Something about we're taking both sides, or we're actually including both the start and stop. If an array can be sorted both ways by using either swap or reverse, choose swap. Yo, what is this? If the array cannot be sorted either way, output no on the first line. I can't understand anything. An example. Okay, maybe we can find an example. Okay, come on. Array is 2, 3, 5, 4. Swap either 4 and 5 at indices 3 and 4, or reverse them to sort the array. Okay, what happens if we swap 4 and 5? Okay, we get a sorted array. Okay, sure. As mentioned above, swap is preferred over reverse. Choose swap. On the first line, print yes. Why am I going to be printing yes? If I'm trying to sort it by swapping, so why don't I just swap them? On print swap 3, 4. Okay. Function description. Complete the almost sorted function in the editor below. Almost sorted has the following parameters: int of array n and array of integers. Print the results as described and return nothing. Okay, so we don't return anything. We just want to print this swap 3 and 4. The first line contains a single integer in. The size array. Okay, so here's where we see in. The first line contains a single integer n, which is the size of the array. Okay, n is the size of this array. First off, why are they even passing that? Shouldn't that just be, I can just do length of n, or length of array, right? I don't really need that. Um, Maybe it's for the other languages. I don't know. N is going to be between 2 and 10, 100,000. Array, each element in array is going to be between 1 and a million. All array of i's are distinct. Okay, so each, there's going to be up to 10,000 of them. So, but each one is going to be unique, or 100,000, sorry. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And it had this weird for. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, come on, man. Output format. If the array is already sorted, output yes on the first line. You do not need to output anything else. If you can sort the array using one single operation from the two permitted operations, which, what was that, swap, we have two operations up here or something, output, I don't know, man, swap and reverse. Okay, that, I think that's what it's talking about. If you can swap, if the array is already sorted, output yes on the first line. You do not need to output anything else. Okay, so that's the case if it's sorted. If you can sort the array using one single operation from the two permitted, output yes on the first line, then do these things. If element can be swapped, DL and DR, output swap LR in second line, LR. L and R are the indices of the element to be swapped. Assuming that the array is indexed from 1 to n. Otherwise, when reversing the segment, output reversed L and R in the second line are L and R are indices of the first and last elements of the subsequence to be reversed. Assuming that the array is indexed 1 through n. D of L and R represent the subsequence of the array beginning at index L and ending at index R, both inclusive. If the array can be sorted by either swapping or reversing, choose swap. If you cannot sort the array either way, output no on the first line. So it's something to do with swapping, or sorry, it's something to do with sorting this array. And I need to output on the first line yes or no, and then I need to say like how I do it or something. Okay. Well, I feel like we definitely have more ahead of us. So, going forward, how I am going to integrate this is I'm going to also be doing HackerRank problems. It's as simple as that. Actually, I'm pretty satisfied with the progress today because I want it. I feel like I found a good path forward to be able to to effectively practice this. Awesome. I have an avenue. I have the kind of questions, and yeah, like look at this. Right now I'm confused, but if I practice it and I get my reading comprehension of these problems up, and if I get the kind of feel for what these kinds of problems are like, okay, well, next time I'm going to be much more prepared. I'm not going to be caught off guard, hopefully. Hopefully. Okay. Yeah, so I'll be doing leak code videos to practice my algorithms and data structures, and I will be doing HackerRank to do more of my reading comprehension of these kinds of problems, and to practice the coding skills in HackerRank, which are okay. Well, how do you deal with more of those situational uh, tasks? So it's awesome. It means that I get to learn this too, right? There we go. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I think it was a pretty successful day today. I'm pretty satisfied with the way that things turned out. I was a little bit depressed yesterday. I was a little bit down, right? I've definitely was not feeling the best. I was just like, man, I felt like I missed my opportunity. It was just like I was so excited when I got the email that I had been selected for the OA, and I was like, oh my gosh, I might be able to be at Amazon. I was so excited, and then I just get a question like this, like this, and I'm just, what? Trying to read it. Huh? And as I read, I got more and more and more and more confused. And then after I ended the OA, I was just shell shocked. Just and so I took the OA when I was up in Seattle, and then I'm down here in Portland. So I took the OA in Seattle, and then I had to drive all the. I finished work, I took the OA, and then I had to drive home last night. And so I was just driving, didn't listen to anything, no audiobooks, no nothing, dead silence the entire time. Just reflecting on that experience and just like so yeah, anyways, well, thank you for watching this video. If you want to join me along on this journey, subscribe. I would love to have you along, and we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Okay, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep improving. We're gonna keep doing leak code. We're gonna do HackerRank, and we're going to do projects. All three. We're gonna improve ourselves. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, hope everyone is having a wonderful day. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and I will see you guys very soon.